Ain't nothing like the love of a Christian. Ain't nothing like the love of a Christian. We cannot just have a decent debate. We must, as Christians here, not me, but these Christians, uh, go after a person's individual personality, their individual character. We must attack them with name calling. Such Christian love. But you presented a great thought process there. So what you are saying, River, is that just as the laws of man are lagging behind the morality of man, therefore the laws of God lag behind the moralities of God. If I'm understanding you correctly. You gave the example of it was the disobedience of the Montgomery boycotts, the lunch counter boycotts that prompted the laws to be changed because morality was ahead of the actual law. If I'm understanding you correctly. So if I'm understanding you correctly, then the laws of your God are lagging behind the moralities of man, or that the laws of your God must be in line with man until man comes to a higher level of morality, and then therefore man may be able to change the law. So since the Israelite people did not have Jesus yet, God could not give them laws that said that, hey, treat women equally to treating men, even though Jesus never expressed that similar thought throughout the New Testament. It is still that women are treated as second class citizens, as I described in the video early yesterday, that women were to be saved through the bearing of children. That was reiterated by Paul in Second Timothy, that he said that First Timothy, that through childbirth women are redeemed, women are saved through the pain of childbirth, in addition to Jesus. So women have to have a little extra where men don't have to have that extra. That women are still seen as second class citizens. Jesus still never corrected that, neither did Paul. But it was written in the Old Testament because man wasn't ready for the movement of higher morality. So the laws of your God were written based on man's inability to be able to recognize women as equal, that a woman is greater than her virginity. You see, if God is truly God, and if this God was truly God, those types of moralities will be initiated in the very beginning. It is not for God to be sit there and say, oh, well, let man catch up. It's going to take, about 6,000 years for them to get to this point where they can recognize that women are just as equal as men, that women are not saved through childbirth, that we're not going to blame them for the fall of man. It's going to take about 2,000 years for them to get to that point. So let me put laws in place that says that women, if they give a promise, their promise is not valid if it's not backed up by a man, or their promise can be invalidated if a man comes, father or husband or brother comes and invalidates their promise within 2 days. Let me put these kinds of laws in place. Let me put inheritance laws in place that say that in general, women can't inherit property, because if there's brothers, and then the brothers get the property, but the women don't. But if there are no brothers, then the women can get the inheritance. But if they marry outside of the group, they lose their inheritance. Oh, let me make sure I understand you correctly, that your God is incapable of at any time frame to give appropriate moral laws to man, because your God has to wait for man to develop the morality himself before those changes. So let me ask you a question then. When is this next coming that's going to make women equal to men? Because the New Testament doesn't make women equal to men. Is there going to be a new covenant that will then allow for this? Because otherwise your statement makes no sense. Uh, when are other abolishments of certain laws, like women being able to speak in the church instead of being submissive to the man and only asking their husbands at home in silence, they should be in the church, that they suffer them not to have authority over a man? When is a new covenant going to come and erase that? Is that only for heaven? Is that only for heaven that such a thing happens? You see, because our morality today is already at that point where women can run countries, women can own land, women can buy businesses, women can gain inheritance, and it doesn't matter who they marry. We've already reached the state of that level of morality. So where's your new Jesus spouting out these new laws that, since we've been lagging behind here, because the laws you spoke of are the laws of man. Black and whites being separated at lunch counters, laws of man. Black and whites being separated at schools, laws of man. Those civil rights, those are the laws of man that man finally caught up to a higher morality and changed man's laws. Those are not God's laws. So when are we going to get to that? When's your Jesus coming again? And so that we can have that. Is that the 1,000-year reign? Is that during the 1,000-year reign? Maybe that's what you're talking about. The 1,000-year reign. Maybe that was gonna happen. I don't know. But this is a nice cigar. Whenever I meet you, Rivers, I'm gonna hand you one. Always remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.